Okay, so here we have a functional behavior assessment observation form, and it's one way that you can uh, mark down your observations and be able to see patterns and potential functions of behavior. Okay, so let's say that Mrs. Smith calls me up and says, please come observe Johnny in class. We're having some difficulties with him. He's been biting and throwing things, running away, and we just don't know what to do. I say, okay, and before I get ready to go, I make sure I have my form ready to go. And I write down that I am observing Johnny, and I am the observer. Today's the first day I'm going to go. I don't know how many times I'm going to observe Johnny because I'm just not sure about that yet. But I know that she told me that she is concerned about him throwing things, biting, and eloping, running away. Okay? So I go there today, and I get there at 10 o'clock in the morning, and they're doing calendar time, and Johnny's sitting in a chair playing with a fiddle toy and perfectly happy. 10:15, a staff member tells him it's time to go check his schedule, and Johnny becomes irritated. He screams, he starts to cry, he throws his toy, he throws his schedule book. The staff member is continually saying, no, check schedule, check schedule. He bites the staff member. It takes them 10 minutes to get him settled down and into his workstation, which is the next part of his schedule. Okay, so how do I write that down? Well, first of all, that is certainly a behavioral event that I am going to record. Anytime there is any behavior, then that is written down as an event, whether it's one simple event or it's a cluster of events like I observed here. And so today's date is 7/19, okay? And I saw him throw things. Here's the time intervals, okay? This time it was between 10 and 11, and I saw him bite, okay? And this was during a transition from calendar to work, okay? And yes, it was a transition. Whoops, I need to write the one there. It was a transition, okay? And they repeated the request, but he was able to escape work for 10 minutes. Okay? As far as Johnny's concerned, this is probably the consequence that means more to him. For 10 minutes of time that he was throwing things, biting, and resisting, he was able to escape work. Okay? And so I'm going to say that he was escaping an activity there. That is what I perceive as the function of that behavior. Okay? So let's say I go the next day on the 20th, and I go in the afternoon. I get there about 2 o'clock. Johnny is playing on the floor next to another student. The other student reaches over to take Johnny's car, and Johnny bites him. The student screams, cries, runs away. A staff member comes over, verbally tells Johnny that that's wrong, and puts him at his seat away. Okay, so here we are, new event, new date. He bit a student. It was between 2 and 3, so I write a 2 here because that's the second event. That's what these numbers correlate to. And he, a student tried to take the toy. I'm going to write playing, and then I'm going to put an asterisk. A lot of times here, I have more information that I want to remember was going with this than I can fit on this line. So I write an asterisk, flip the paper, playing with car, student tried to take Johnny bit. Okay, that's going to help me remember what happened. Back over to the front here. Okay, this is the one that happened between 2 and 3. It's the second event. Again, I put a 2 in that time frame. And it was during free time. Okay, and what he really did is the child ran away. That was the most immediate response as far as Johnny's concerned. Kid wanted to take his toy, bit him, kid's gone. He did get some attention as well because a staff member came over to him and spoke to him and then placed him in a seat away. But I'm circling this one because from my observation, that's what Johnny was really attempting to get, okay? And he was able to escape the person. All right, this goes on. After I've observed several times, I've got now multiple numbers here. I've observed 7 events, and events 1, 4, and 7 all happened when I was observing him leaving calendar time, and he did the same thing every time. He threw things, he bit, okay? I also observed him in the afternoon when it was time for him to get on the bus, and that's when he was running away, okay? And it was all during that time. So when you've got the sheet completely filled out, you can see information such as common times. When I look down and this column has got a whole lot of numbers in it, say, wow, that's a time we need to focus on, okay? As well as common antecedents. Transitions are a big one, okay? The common consequences, that he had repeated requests, that he was able to escape, okay? And attention, I don't have that one there, although I wrote it on the last one, okay? But as we look at my perceived function, escaping a demand, escaping an activity, escaping a person, I see that all of my perceived functions there are all escape. So that's how this form can help give you a structure to be able to see the times you're most concerned about, as well as potential settings, antecedents, consequences. All of those things can be written on this form.